toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Patriots Touchback Podcast, Season 3, Episode 20. It is, of course, Week 4's preview show against the Carolina Panthers. Both teams sitting on the same record at 1-2. We've got a very special guest. We've got Keg from the PanthersMagpie on to break down everything that's happened with Carolina and how they are performing, and they're talking about their quarterback and so on. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell all your friends, follow us on social media platforms, follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple as well. The link for Keg's Twitter account is down in the description below. He is also part of a YouTube channel called the Magpie channel, which is mostly to do with Newcastle United, but the links in the title and the links in the description if you want to go check them out there as well. Keg, good evening, sir. How are we doing?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for all the links as well. That's much appreciated. And appreciate you inviting me on today. Looking forward to coming on, having this chat after our lovely 30-0 victory against the Falcons on Sunday. Things are a little bit happier around the Carolina fan base at the minute. So yeah, it's a good time right now.
Awesome. We're gonna most of this is all about how Carolina have been for the first few games and so on, but it goes a lot more deeper with your franchise, considering a few years ago you got took over by a shall we say well, we refer to more as temper tantrum, shall we say? Okay. And it's not been plain sailing for you, let's put it that way. However, we'll move to last week. You got a win, not just any win, a shutout win over the Atlanta Falcons. Anything to rub the noses in since we Super Bowl 51. That's all we're going to say on that one. But yeah, so talk us about the Panthers. What's been happening over, well, mostly through training camp, or what's been happening for most of the season?
Well, training camp, the whole summer, pretty much, probably dating back all the way to around about week 8, I would say, of last year, maybe it's even week 10. Like, things have been really positive and optimistic in Carolina, like, because we finished that season so well. Started it terribly, almost as bad, if not worse, than what the 2023 season was, where we only won 2 games and didn't even have the number 1 overall pick to show for it. So yeah, we were optimistic going into 2024. That was a train wreck to start with. Bryce Young got benched after a horrendous first 2 weeks performances. Andy Dalton came and steadied the ship, and it steadied. I mean, it won 1 game. It wasn't great. Then Bryce came back, and then on like a 10-week spree, we played some really, really good football. We were so optimistic with how it ended. Even some of the losses we took as moral victories, like particularly the Chiefs and the Eagles. We played them and took them right down to the wire. Like, both of them games we probably could and should have won. Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in between that one. They ended up beating us in overtime. Again, another one that we should have won. So that was a 3-game stretch. We won a couple. I'm sure we beat the Falcons in the last game of the season. There was a couple of other games in there. Some really good performances. Bryce Young was playing great. The offense was actually kicking. Less said about the defense, the better. But that's where we come into the offseason. So, yeah, we were really positive with Dave Canales and Bryce Young and the offense. But, yeah, the defense was the worst defense in NFL history. We allowed the most amount of points in NFL history, a record dating back to 1981. The Baltimore Colts had that record in 1981. We beat that by 1 point. So, yeah, that's what the offseason was all about. Defense. Get that defense back. Because that was the one thing that was actually really pretty good for us under some bad years, even 2023, going back through like the Frank Reich and the Matt Rule era, while we struggled to replace Cam Newton, and during the trades of Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, it was just the offense that never clicked. No matter the head coach, no matter the coordinator, no matter the quarterback coach, the offense just couldn't work. But the defense was always solid. We could always rely on the defense to try and keep us in games, it was just the offense that didn't help out on their end of the bargain. That's why we lost so many games. But yeah, last year was a complete reverse. So wanted to try and get that back so there's at least an level playing field. It's not like one unit doing their job and the other messing it up. We want everyone to be on the same page. So yeah, we went defense heavy in the offseason, in free agency. And we expected to go defense heavy in the draft as well. But a surprise with the 8th overall pick, we picked a wide receiver. A true wide receiver, a real target that Bryce Young needed in Tetairoa McMillan. A lot of people questioned it, but it was a great pick. I mean, it was a missing piece to the puzzle. Like, as well as the offense ended 2024, it wasn't great. Like, we were never going to go to the Super Bowl with that kind of offense. Like, even if we had a top 5 defense, we still weren't that good. There was still a lot of work that needed to be done. So yeah, T-Mac was a big piece of the puzzle. We doubled up on edge rushers in day 2. We added a safety, and so yeah. So as OTAs and training camp and everything started to kick on, we were really optimistic with some of the young guys, some of the free agents, just kind of like the spillover from 2024 with Bryce Young and a couple of guys like Xavier Leggett, Jalen Coker, Jatavion Sanders. We got a top running back in Cuba Hubbard, added Rico Dowdle. So yeah, a lot of things were pointed in the right direction. So yeah, we were optimistic. And then we went 0-3 in the preseason. And that's where some question marks started to come into it. And they continued in the first 2 weeks / 1.75 games, I would say. Yeah, we were awful against the Jags, both sides of the ball. Defense didn't look like it had improved at all. Offense was a bit stagnant. T-Mac showed his qualities in both of the first 2 games. But yeah, from like the beginning of the third quarter in week 2 against the Cardinals, we've started to kick on. Since then, I think with 9 minutes or like 10 minutes left of the third quarter in week 2, we haven't conceded a single point since. We've gone 5, almost 6 quarters without conceding a point. We've outscored opposition 49 points to 0 since then. Obviously, with last week's shutout against Atlanta counted against that as well. So yeah, defense have started playing really well. Still struggling in the pass rush. The run defense is so much better because that was one of the pinpoints of why we were so bad last year and the first 2 games / 1.5 games of the early in this season. Yeah, the run defense is looking good. The offense is managing. Again, it's not amazing, but it's manageable, it's serviceable, and so is the defense. So yeah, we've just got to build on the last quarter and a bit of week 2 and a good performance against the Cardinals in week 3. And if we can kind of maintain some stability throughout the season, we'll probably get an even record, which is where we expected. I mean, even the most optimistic of Panthers fans probably wouldn't say 10 wins. They probably wouldn't say we'll win the NFC South. Me, myself, I said 8-9. That was my preseason record. Even a 7-10, something like that. I'll take that. It's an improvement on what we were last year. And that's just where we're at from the Matt Rule, Frank Reich era. Dave Canales and Dan Morgan's job was just to steady the ship, basically. Get the quarterback, get the team, get the weapons, and just slowly build this sinking ship. I mean, this ship wasn't even sinking. This ship was the Titanic. This ship was at the bottom of the ocean for the last 100 years. Like, there was no saving this franchise. But so it's a slow, steady progression. Last year, we took the 2023 season from 2 wins to 5. If we get another 3 on top of that, so 8 wins, let's say 7, 8 wins, 9 at best, maybe. That's where we can go. And if we just keep kicking on the way we have done these last game and a half, then I still feel like we can get like 7, 8, maybe 9 wins at best.
Talk about Bryce Young, because it was weird, because when he was in the draft along with CJ Stroud, obviously there was a lot of and R in who Carolina were going to take, and there was rumblings it was either going to be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Turned out to be Bryce Young overall. He's had a bit of a how to put it politely, an indifferent NFL career right now so far. There's some moments he has been very good and he thought he's turned it around, and then there are also times where he's made some careless decision making with the ball, not getting rid of it quickly enough, not going through his reads properly. How would you evaluate Bryce Young at this moment in time?
I think two things can be true. I think, yeah, he did struggle, and yes, he has made some bad decisions. If you look over, if like a D highlight reel, if you like, if you look at some of his worst plays, you'll probably see some interceptions or fumbles where you'll just look and think, what were you thinking? What were you seeing there? What was actually the thought process before this play? Like it really is like a bit of a head scratcher. But for the majority of his failures, I would say you've got to pinpoint the team and the organization, obviously, especially 2023, where he was a part of that 2-win team with Frank Reich, fired halfway through the season, along with his offensive coordinator. The play calling changed from Reich to the offensive coordinator, back to Reich. Then Reich was fired, so then someone else. It was a mess. The previous general manager, Scott Fitterer, obviously deserved to be fired because he traded so much away for Bryce and didn't help him out. Traded away DJ Moore, left him with a garbage O-line, minimal receiving weapons. Like Adam Thielen was his most reliable target. No disrespect to Adam Thielen, but he's never really been. He's never been Justin Jefferson. He's never been Stephon Diggs. He's always been behind them guys in Minnesota. So yeah, like that is a huge part of the problem. If you go back and look at his highlight reel, he's made some really, really good underrated plays. Like a lot of his passes have been under pressure. And I think that's where he works best, actually, when he is getting pressurized by defenses, when like he's got a really good record against the blitz. When he gets out of the pocket, kind of like a younger Russell Wilson, like when he's scrambling, when he's kind of going off key. That's where I think you see his best plays, like when he can kind of make his own plays up. Like that's where I think you see the best of him. But yeah, it is just kind of putting the right pieces around him. Like I said, that rookie year was garbage, while everyone was kind of pointing a finger, looking at how well CJ Stroud done. CJ Stroud went to the playoffs. Did he win rookie offensive player of the year that year? I'm not sure if he did. I think he might have. I can't remember who it was if it wasn't him, but he was certainly a candidate if it wasn't him. But now you look at look at CJ Stroud. Like how's he doing now? He's 0-3. His O-line sucks. His offensive weapons aren't that much better. Like the Texans are on a bit of a decline now. So it's true that you have to have a team. Like I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. Like you need to have players around you, especially in this day and age. Like if you look at your guy's situation, like look at Tom Brady, he never really had the best players. Like the best player that he probably had was Randy Moss, and he didn't even win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss. Like his best players were like your Amendolas, your Edelmans, who were made to look great, but weren't really great. Like Tom Brady was just one of them elite quarterbacks, and I think like a Mahomes can win things with subpar weapons. A lot of quarterbacks in this day and age, because I think the game has changed a lot. Like kind of what Cam Newton got a lot of criticism for in a podcast a few months ago, calling a lot of quarterbacks game managers. It's not necessarily an insult to call a quarterback a game manager, but this league is filled with game managers, and Bryce Young can be a game manager. And I think CJ Stroud probably is as well. CJ Stroud isn't an elite quarterback. And you look at him now, his offensive line's crumbling, his weapons aren't great, and they're 0-3. So I think the same thing could be flipped. Like if CJ Stroud was at Carolina in 2023, the same outcome would have happened. He's not good enough to turn that 2-15 team into even a 5-win team, a 5-12 team. Like you need the team around him. And like I said, this was a sunken ship that's kind of slowly starting to bubble its way back towards the surface. It's just going to take more Tetairoa McMillans. Like the offensive line's fine. It's a little bit patched up at the minute, but it's worked. Like last year, we spent a lot of money on Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, and we went from like bottom 5 to pushing top 10. That's what a good team needs. That's what CJ Stroud hasn't got right now, and Bryce Young has. Does he need more weapons? Hell yeah. Xavier Legette isn't looking great. We've got Hunter Renfrow, as we mentioned. So outside of Tetairoa McMillan, there's not loads of weapons there. But it's just more managing it. So I believe when all the pieces of the puzzle are put together, Bryce Young can be a fine 10 to 15 range quarterback. I think CJ Stroud's probably around about there as well. He's probably mid-range around about your 15 mark. I think Bryce can show to be better than CJ in a bit of a different situation. So I think he was the right pick, and I think he always was the consensus number 1 overall pick. I don't think there was ever a question about it. We traded all that capital up to go and get him. If anything, we might have took a risk on a traitsy player like Anthony Richardson. I think there was a lot of late hype towards the draft that we might have gone Richardson. Thank God we didn't. But it is all situational. So yeah, I'm a supporter of Bryce. I like what I see most of the time. I say some of his decision making needs to be better for a third-year quarterback. He should have had all this ironed out by now. Because his first year was so bad. He's still almost kind of learning on the job now. And you can't really afford to do that as your third year, like especially if he's going into next year as a fourth-year quarterback. You can't be making rookie errors. So it's still developmental. It's still not a dead cert that he's going to be a top 15 quarterback, but I think he's got all the intangibles to do that with this team with a little bit more help from his friends.
I was just going to bring up on your offensive line, Keg. Obviously, there's been a lot of investment in the offensive line over the last couple of years. But I watched you guys against Arizona, and Bryce Young was running for his life that entire second half. And that was a real concern because that was when you still had like your primary starters in. Since that game, you've lost Austin Corbett and Robert Hunt, I believe. Or is it Damian Lewis? Which one of the two?
Yeah, Robert Hunt. Yeah.
Robert Hunt. Yeah. So I was kind of looking at this matchup at the weekend. I'm kind of thinking our interior might be able to generate a lot of interior pressure, but like, have they perhaps, despite the investment, have they maybe underperformed a little bit considering how much money's been put into that line?
I don't think so. Robert Hunt went to the Pro Bowl last year. Like you say, I think everyone looks at the Carolina Panthers offense, especially last year, and still call them garbage. But I think people are looking at the past because it has been for 5 or 6 years prior to last year. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on Robert Hunt initially. I think he was $100 million on a 5-year contract, and Damian Lewis was about $53 million on a 4-year contract. So 153 million pound was spent dollars, in the first day of free agency in 2024. So it was a lot of money, a lot of risk, a huge investment. But I think it is what Bryce's need is. Like he was, like especially towards the back end of last year, a lot more comfortable. So I think they did pay off. And let's say Robert Hunt got himself to a Pro Bowl. This year, this year isn't looking as good as last year. Admittedly, it is still it's still like a small sample size though. Like we're only 3 weeks in. Ike Ekwonu didn't play against Jacksonville. He was out. So we had Josh Nijman start at left tackle against the Jags. And then Robert Hunt and Austin Corbett went out around about third, maybe even fourth quarter against the Cardinals. But with Corbett, you never like to say an injury is a positive. But among the Panthers fan base, we wanted Cade Mays to win that battle. So Cade Mays is now our starter. We drafted him, I think he was in the 5th round, 2022, 2023. Cade Mays is a very good center, a guard turned center, just as Austin Corbett was as well. Austin Corbett was a Super Bowl winning guard with the Rams, turned center. But yeah, it was a little bit of a battle. And yeah, I think Corbett won based on experience. But towards the back end of last year, where Corbett got injured, Mays played, I think, each of the last 8 games or so. In fact, I think nearly all of them with Bryce. I think Corbett went out around about the same time as Andy Dalton got injured. So through that back end of last season, Cade Mays played with Bryce Young through that good streak that we had. And they played really well. These first 2 weeks of the season just gone, Corbett was snapping it high. Like the snaps were bad. So like from week 1, a lot of fans were saying, bench Austin Corbett. These snaps are terrible. Get Cade Mays in. So as nature would happen, we've got that now. So if anything, I'd say that's an upgrade. Robert Hunt is a problem. He's been replaced with Chandler Zavala, who was a draft pick in 2023 from NC State. His rookie year was bad. I think the whole O-line was bad in 2023. He too has had some injuries. But he played, like, him and Cade Mays started the last game of last season against the Falcons, where we put, I think it was 44 points on them. And they just started again together, where the Falcons scored 0. The Falcons had 5 sacks in the first half of the game they played the week beforehand. I think it was against Minnesota. They had 5 sacks in total. 5 of them were in the first half, and they only managed 1 on Sunday against Carolina. So I'd take that one. So like when I was watching them highlights and reading them stats about what they'd done against the Vikings, knowing that Robert Hunt especially was going to be out, I was like, oh God, this is going to be awful. Bryce is going to have to run for his life. He's going to be on a deathbed by the end of this game. But we contained them very well. There was a lot of pressure. Yes, there was. Bryce had to scramble out of the pocket a few times, made 1 or 2 mistakes. Yeah, but yeah, me concern about the O-line isn't huge right now. Like I say, it's still a small sample size. We've still got a lot of season to go. Hunt is obviously going to be a much bigger miss than what Austin Corbett is. But yeah, me concerns aren't great right now.
How have you seen? Because obviously you took Ted McMillan with the 8th overall pick in the draft of this year. How have you made of him so far? From what I'm gathering, and obviously I've got him in NFL fantasy as well. Obviously, he's been the main go-to guy when it's not Hunter Renfrow. Yeah,
he's outstanding. He's more than what we could have even expected. Like we'll watch these highlight reel. We'll all like follow the draft process, and we're seeing some stuff of him in obviously pre-season and training camp, OTAs, that kind of thing. He impressed, but he's been every bit as good as what we even thought he could have been. Through the first 2 games, he beat the Panthers franchise record for most yards by a rookie through the first 2 games. Had 100 yards against Arizona. It's just that jump ball. I just learned during the coverage of the Falcons game that he was a volleyball player. And he credits a lot of his volleyball skills at the net for his jump ability. He's obviously also a Jordan Jumpman sponsor. That leap, you would think there's like a trampoline underneath him. Like the guy is just an absolute freak show. I think he's got all the credentials to be one of the best receivers in the league within the next couple of years. I think he could be up there. I'm not saying he's going to be better than, but when you look at Justin Jefferson's, Jamar Chase's, I think he could be outside of that bracket. He could be like a 3 to 5 receiver in the league. But again, it depends on situations. Is Bryce going to be the one to do that for him? Like you've got to question Bryce. You've got to question the head coach, the coordinator, the O-line. Like everything has to be in the position for him to succeed. I think he can. Like I said, I think it's going to take time. I would nowhere near put him in a top 5 conversation right now. As far as 3 games go, I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far. So yeah, hopefully that continues for a long, long time yet.
Yeah, we were definite McMillan fans on this podcast, and for a long, long time, I was an advocate of us drafting him high in the draft until we had to watch.
We did not follow the Cincinnati Bengals prophecy.
When you watch Vidarian Lowe and DeMontre Jacobs attempt to block people on a weekly basis, it was obvious we had to take a tackle.
Hang on, hold up.
Oh yeah, we
say the name. Say the name.
Vidarian Lowe.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's we all like McMillan, but I guess I've been very surprised, Keg, that with Carolina this year, in the sense that I looked at your offense coming into the season. I thought, do you know what? This is quite spicy. Like a good O-line, a good running back. They've added McMillan to a pretty decent receiver room. Bryce played really well at the end of last year, but I was a little bit iffy on the defense, particularly in the secondary. But yet you're coming into this game having given up the fewest touchdown passes in the entire NFL, and your secondary has been exceeding expectations, and it's the offense that's not been playing as good as expected. So it's kind of flipped on if you'd have looked at the preseason projections. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, like I say, we were statistically one of the worst defenses in the league last year. Let's say we gave up a record amount of points. I don't know the exact stats, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure we gave up top 5 most rushing yards in NFL history. I think we were quite up there with receiving yards as well. That might have just been on the season, that one. That might not have just been history. That might have just been a 2024 stat. But yeah, I think our cornerback duo is drastically underrated because they're not necessarily household names. I think people have underrated J.C. Horn for the majority of his career. He was an 8th overall pick in 2021. had an unfortunate first 3 years in the league with injuries. We know his potential. We know his abilities as fans. Like, we watch him closely and we know just how good he can be. Like I said, the injuries haven't helped. Last year was his first full year. I think he missed the last 2 games. I think he got injured for the last 2 games, but again, got a Pro Bowl nomination and then got a $100 million contract, making him the highest paid cornerback in the league, which has since been overtaken. We just set the market there. I think a lot of people questioned that. We didn't as such, but I knew we were just setting the market. So in 3 years' time, that's going to end up looking like a bargain because everyone's going to overtake him. Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley already have. But on the other side of that, we've got Michael Jackson. Mike Jack, he's another underrated one. We traded for him right before the season started last year, and I think he might have been 3rd in the league in terms of passes defended. So him and JC Horn, I think, were the only 2 cornerbacks in the league to be in the top 20 for passes defended. Not a whole lot of interceptions. I think that's a stat that everyone looks at and kind of judges a cornerback on how many interceptions. They could get more, without a doubt, but the defend the pass and the give up as few yards as possible. And I think I've seen just before, again, after the Falcons game, that we might be 2nd in the league as a cornerback duo. That there's no 2 cornerbacks in the league better than them 2 right now. So that's a good thing. Mike Jack got an interception against Atlanta, and JC Horn got an athletic one-handed grab against the Chargers in week 1 as well. So that's coming along. Safety is or at least was, sort of still is a bit of a concern with us. We spent big money on Trevor Murray from the Las Vegas Raiders. He was our first signing of free agency. Spent a lot of money. Again, was another question. Is he worth that? For us, his main skill is kind of moving around the defense, run defense. As I said, like, we were so bad last year. That was one of the keys to any defensive signing this year. Can you stop the run? If the answer is yes, we want you. We're not really bothered about the other stuff. We're not really bothered about the sack numbers or interception numbers. Just stop the bloody run. Like, put that picture of the colander back up. Like that's our defense. That was our defense last year. It was just going straight through the middle, no problem at all. There was just nothing stopping the guys just running up the gut. So yeah, Trevor Merrick, he's been really good. Took a little bit of time. Like, had a few criticisms, if you believe the PFF stats. He was quite low in most of them in the stats in the first 2 weeks. But he was moving along the line. He was playing kind of nickel. He was playing like a jack linebacker. He was just moving around. He's not just like an out-and-out safety. He's better when he steps up into the box. So yeah, he was great. Alongside him is probably the Panthers fan base's least favorite starter, and that's Nick Scott. We signed him in free agency last year to a 1-year contract, and he was pretty garbage as far as every time we've seen him. Tested the free agency market. Nobody wanted him. So we brought him back. I think it might be another 1-year deal. I don't know what the contract is. But yeah, he's pretty bad. But again, PFF, his stats were good. The PFF rate him really, really highly. But the eye test tells you the guy sucks. But for the last couple of games, we've introduced Lathan Ransom in a little bit more. He was a rookie 4th-round pick from Ohio State. And he plays really well, kind of like Merrick. He's really good at like stepping up into the box and making a tackle, stopping the run. So yeah, in terms of passes defending, safety is a little bit of a concern, and that may be somewhere where the Patriots can look into if you can kind of get it in that bracket. If Nick Scott's on the field, target that guy, because put the corner back up. He's that guy. Like if you pass towards Nick Scott, you're probably going to get a catch. So yeah, like I say, with the cornerbacks, we're fine. With Trevor Merrick, we're fine. The linebacker position's bad. Christian Roseboom, he was a free agency signing. He hasn't been great. Trevor Wallace, he's a 2nd-year, 3rd-round pick from Kentucky. He played well against the Falcons, but took a lot of criticisms. This is his first year starting with the loss of Shaq Thompson and Josie Jewell. So he's had to step up, and is he ready? Maybe not to be a starter, but there's potential there in a 2nd-year guy. So yeah, the linebackers and the safeties are the biggest concern on this defense. Everywhere else, particularly the cornerbacks, we're all right.
Let's flip to the Patriots side of things. I want from your perspective, going into this game, who are you most aware of? Who are you most not scared of? That's a poor term of phrase. Who are you more concentrating on to say, who's going to be the one to do the most damage? Obviously, there's Drake May, obviously, but is there any of our receivers or any of our running backs or tight ends that you look at thinking they might be an issue for us?
On offense, I really like what's his first name? Was it Trayvon Henderson?
Yep.
Yeah. Travion. Yeah, I knew Trayvon wasn't right. Travion. Yeah. Travion Henderson. Yeah, rookie. I'm a fan of him. Like, I thought he was really good at Ohio, but it's just taking a little bit of time. I don't think your rushing was that good. I just watched the highlights at the weekend gone. Yeah, he's a talent. I think he's going to take some time. But again, like, with how bad our run stop has been and how well it's improved, like, over the last couple of weeks, going up against James Conner in week 2 and Bijan Robinson in week 3, and we held them to some pretty good yards. Maybe he's someone who can kind of, like I say, target them guys, target Christian Roseboom, target Trevon Wallace, target Nick Scott. If you can get kind of in between those guys, he's got a chance. He just kind of probably needs to get on the outside with Derek Brown coming up the gut. That's a problem. Ashawn Robinson as well. Like, we've got a pretty strong D-line led by Derek Brown. It's amazing to have him back. I think our defensive line was so bad. The run game was so bad last year because he was out for the season from week 1. He was a huge, huge miss after getting a massive contract. So yeah, him coming back's good. But yeah, I don't know offensively outside of that. Hunter Henry, I think, looked pretty good so far this season. Haven't really seen too much out of Stephon Diggs yet. But on the other side of the ball, that could be a different question. I think the pass rush and interior, especially. I'm bad with names. What's the free agent guy from the Eagles called again?
Milton Williams.
Milton Williams. That's the fella. Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, with Chandler Zavala replacing Rob Hunt, and yeah, we've with seeing how much Bryce is scrambling around a little bit, maybe that interior is probably going to be your best bet. Yeah, so yeah, I think Milton Williams on defense especially is going to be a problem. I'd hope not to see Gonzalez back. But the offense outside of Drake May, who I am a really big fan of, by the way, similar to Bryce, maybe needs to protect the ball a little bit. Just like the fumbles, like when he gets hit, he kind of loses the ball a little bit too often. Something that Bryce needs to work on as well, protecting the ball. But yeah, outside of the fumbles, I am a really, really big fan of Drake May, and I think he could be a spectacular quarterback in this league.
We'll just piggyback that last question, Keg, and just kind of, we ask this question to every guest we have on, and that is, how are the Panthers fans viewing this game in particular, and their view of us as you know, from a wider Panthers fan base? You know, how are we viewed within the Panthers circle ahead of this game?
Well, we still hate you because of 2004. But outside of that,
don't remember that.
Yeah, 2003 season, I should say. Yeah, Super Bowl February 2004. So it was. I don't know. I can't really speak on behalf of the fan base. I can only kind of really speak on my point of view. Like, I think the Patriots are another kind of up and coming team, and it is crazy to think about it because all pretty much throughout my time following the NFL, like, it's the Patriots and Brady. It's basically what the Chiefs are now. Like, you're just sick of seeing them in the Super Bowl. It's like, can we have someone else, please? Like, can Tom Brady just stop winning Super Bowls? It gets a little bit boring after a little while. I'm sure you guys weren't bored, but looking back at
we're not
looking
bored.
At Mahomes now.
The difference is, everyone else is whinging and complaining of how the Chiefs just continuously win Super Bowls. We're sitting in our chairs thinking, shit, that's exactly what they were doing to us when we were successful.
Yeah.
So guess what? We're looking back and goes, yeah, we don't like it either, but we will respect it because guess what? We did it first.
Yeah. You can't complain. Yeah, you're not really in any position to complain about the Chiefs dynasty when you were there first. But yeah, like, it is kind of weird to see where the Patriots have came from with Bill Belichick as well. It's almost a shame to say. Like, I always have been like a fan of the Patriots. I do think these are a good organization, but yeah, I just think that hangover from Brady and Belichick and all the others that went with it, like your Gronks and your Edelmans and them kind of guys, like, you're still in that hangover phase. Like it's gone maybe worse than I think that it maybe could have been expected. Obviously, Cam Newton didn't really pan out as the first man to fill Tom Brady's shoes. That was probably a mistake. But it's just kind of like the same kind of rotational thing that we kind of suffered with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater. It's just trying to find the right guy, getting them through the draft and sticking with them. Mistakes or not, you've kind of just got to just wait and see. Like there's no point. Like people keep saying to me about every time Bryce Young fails, but such and such is coming up through the drafts. Like we can't keep doing this. We've done this for like 4 or 5 years. Like you can't just keep rotating your quarterback. You've got to hope that one sticks and build around them. But yeah, I think Drake May is looking really, really good. I think it's still a bit of a growth spurt for you guys. I think trying to get back into somewhat mediocrity. I think you like us, like you're kind of below that mediocre stage right now. You're one of like the poorer teams in the league. To say like not to be disrespectful, but we're there as well. Like I can speak on behalf of us in that sort of bottom 10 bracket. It's not looking good. Like we're a sub 500 team right now, both of us, but both in a similar position where we've got some people in the right places. Maybe some people still need to grow out of it. We need to get them guys replaced with some better people. And it's going to take 2, maybe 3 years to get there. But yeah, I think you've got the right quarterback. I'm not sure about your head coach. I like his experience and I like what he done with the Titans in the past. But again, 3 games in, small sample size, can't really judge too much. There's been pros, there's been cons. So that's something that you're going to have to stick with as well and just see how that one plays out. But yeah, I'm confident in the Patriots will get back to some playoff days within the next few years.
I think Karl will be able to testify to this at the moment, is that we're sat here at 1-2, but we're beating ourselves at the moment, which is the biggest issue.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we did that quite a lot.
Anyone that's seen the highlights or watched the game on Sunday with the Foxborough Fumble Fest, as we call it, I mean, we spoke on our show on Tuesday about we dominated that game against the Steelers, but we just can't get out of our own way. And those bad habits from the last few years are really sinking in now. And we're still trying to recover from that because the potential is there. Definitely.
Yeah. Potential is there. We just keep shooting ourselves in the knees. Or what Atlanta did last week, Michael shutting his Penix in the car door multiple times. So,
beating yourself is a good thing, though. Sorry to interrupt you there. But yeah, like we do that as well. Like the Cardinals game is a prime example. Like a strip sack returned for a touchdown, and then Bryce Young getting his arm hit. The looping ball picked off, interception. So 2 turnovers, 10 points on the board before Kyler Murray even got onto the field. Like we were 10-0 down, and Kyler Murray hadn't even put his helmet on yet. So like that's one of the things. Like we do that as well. Like, and I think that's going to be one of the key points to this game. One of us has to be mistake free. I think the first one to make a mistake is maybe going to be the first one that's going to beat themselves. So after the Cardinals game, like we outscored them 19 points to 0 from the third quarter. If we hadn't have made them mistakes, if we hadn't have taken that 10-0 deficit early on in the game, we could have won that. And I keep hearing this from some of the beat reporters that report on Carolina and some fans, like, we beat ourselves and we have to be perfect. We have to play mistake-free football to be in with a chance of winning. And if we do, I think we stand a good chance of winning. I think we can beat any team if we're mistake-free. But it's like 1 turnover, and that's it. Like, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Like, we can't recover. We're not good enough to recover from 1 mistake, let alone 2. If 2 mistakes is 3, just call the game off. Just throw the white flag in because we're done. We are not going to recover from this. And yeah, I think the Patriots are in a similar situation. A couple of mistakes. But even then, like you said, you definitely did beat yourself because even after all the mistakes, it was still a close game. It was only really a 1-score game. Like, for losing 5 turnovers, you should have been battered really on the scoreboard, but you weren't. It was still a close game. So that's why I know you are a good team. You are a good team. You just say, cut down on the mistakes, try and play perfect mistake-free football, which is obviously an idealistic thing. It's a bit of a ridiculous thing to say in sport. People are going to make mistakes. You're going to make errors, and that's just kind of part of human nature. But if you can cut them down to as far as you can win games that are there for the taking, like what the Steelers was.
Yeah, I mean, that game last week for us was just a frustrating one. For like 5 minutes in the first of our show last week, on the review show on Tuesday, it was like, that was the most frustrating game. I don't mind if we lose. If we lose comfortably or we lose by a score here or there and there was no turnovers and like, but you know what?
Yeah.
We just never really had the chances that we took. But the fact we outdone them in the running game, outdone them in the passing game, more first downs, more third downs, more fourth downs, and we still didn't win the game. That's a constructual head right there to say, how the hell did we lose that? We have got a comment here. Here by a Delusional Patriots fan, big up, mate. And that was 2 separate occasions of losing a fumble on the 1 yard line. Yeah, well, let's just hope Ramondre Stevenson is the RB3 in this one. Before we start getting into what our predictions might be, the injury report's just come out now for the Patriots now, so you might want to brace yourself, guys. So, did not participate. Guard Jarrett Wilson, ankle/knee injury. Limited participation. Kieron Chason with a knee. Christian Gonzalez, hamstring. There was 2 more that got added to the list. Anthony Jennings, hamstring. And Marty Mapu, neck. That's not good for Marty Mapu because a neck injury is nasty. Full participation. Christian Barmore's back, so no issues whatsoever. Carlton Davis, Hunter Henry, and Mac Hollins. So that's our current injury report so far. So it does kind of look like, Kieron, that Ben Brown will be starting at left guard alongside Will Campbell. Are you worried?
Yes and no. I feel like Jarrett Wilson hasn't been perfect this year, but he's a 3rd-round rookie. So I don't know if the drop-off is that significant to Ben Brown. Although, like, similar to what we were saying with Keg about how we might be able to generate interior pressure, like, this is a good defensive line. The Panthers D-line has had a lot of investment. They've brought a lot of players in free agency. Like, you drafted a couple of good edge rushers, and Derek Brown's one of the best interior players in the league. So it's going to be a tough matchup for both interior offensive lines, I think. So, yeah, obviously not ideal to lose Jarrett Wilson just for the consistency of having the same 5 on the line all season, but hopefully not too much of a drop-off.
Let's just hope so. Okay. Let's get into our predictions. Keg, you are up first. Are you going to be a homer and take your team, or are you going to go with your head?
30-0 Panthers, putting it on right now. Yeah. I think this will really be a close one. I think it's too hard to call. I am going to be a homer, and I am going to go with the Panthers, but I'm not going to say we're going to beat you. I'm not. We're not going to beat you hard. We're not going to we're not going to replicate that Falcons game. I think it'll be within 3 points, like maybe a field goal, maybe a walk off. I'm looking at like a 23-20, something along them lines. Maybe it's even close on that, like a 20-19, something like that. I think it's going to be a really close contest. I think it is quite 2 evenly matched teams. They've both got good D lines. If Christian Gonzalez comes back, we've got some pretty good corners between us. Maybe somewhat suspect offensive line, a quarterback who relies on confidence, can be prone to a mistake, and some pretty good runners. So, yeah, I think it is a really evenly matched team. We're both 1 and 2. So, yeah, there's not really much to split the sides. So, yeah, I fancy quite a low scoring, quite close game, and I'll take the Panthers 23-20.
Okay. Kieron, what are you going for?
Yeah, so I feel like in this game in particular, there is more pressure on us than there is you guys. Purely based on the fact that I feel like if we win the game, I don't think there's going to be I might be wrong here, but there'll be many expectations or much disappointment from Carolina in the sense that it's not a game that you're like heavily favored to win, or because I believe on like the betting line, like we are the odds-on favorites to win.
-5.5. I've got a bet.
-5.5 favorites. So like I feel like if you guys lose, it's not as much of a big deal than it would be for us. Like we spoke last week on our show about how we have the worst current home record over the last 3 seasons. Our fans
since 2000 since sorry to drop in here. Since the start of 2023, the Patriots record at home is 3-16.
Yeah. So it's pretty rough and definitely not what it used to be. The fans are starved of watching anything good. Like the last win at home was a Week 18 game against the Buffalo B team. We definitely need a home win. This will be a game that our fans will be looking at, that we have to win this. Genuinely, like, this is a must win for us. And it'll all depend on whether we've got the crotchless panties on again and the balls are hanging out, because last week that definitely did happen. If we play mistake-free and tidy up from last week, I do think we'll win the game. But I'm with Kay in the sense that I think this will be like quite low scoring. I think both defenses will hold the two offenses at bay. So I think, again, I'm not sure I'd be bold enough to predict a -5.5 victory, but I certainly think, within 3 or 4 points, Patriots win. I'm going to go 24-21.
24-21 you're going for. I thought you were gonna go for the same line as me then. I will take the Patriots to nick it. I think it's gonna be one of those close games. I mean, we have to win this game, so we can't go to Buffalo next Sunday at 1-3. Otherwise, our season's dead then. Our season will be dead before the fucking Red Sox and the Yankees is. That's embarrassing. Anyway, I digress. 2017, I got the Patriots winning this. I think Panthers will cover the spread. I think the Patriots, they'll go to 2-2. We need to go 2-2 on that matter. So yeah.
Yeah, good, 2-2 for us is like, we had our
that was what we expected, but we've got our fixtures to complete the fucking wrong way around, haven't we? We said it would be Raiders win, Dolphins lose, Steelers. I had the Steelers win, and then the Panthers win. We should be really 3-1, but 2-2 is like the bare minimum where we should be. If we go 1-3 in the first 4, that's embarrassing.
2-2 is acceptable.
2-2 is acceptable, and there is
you got Buffalo next week, and then a nice run of games against who is it? Titans, Saints, Browns, Falcons. Like, if we win this week and we drop to Buffalo, there's a real chance of being like 6-3. Like, but we've got to play mistake-free, because we'll never get there if we play like we did last week with our ball security. But like I said, this is a must-win game for us. We have to win this game. If we sat at 1-3 after the start we've got absolutely no hope. And
cut down the penalties as well.
Yeah, because if we do drop this game to Carolina and go 1-3, it'll be 1-4 against Buffalo. We're probably not going to win that game. And then suddenly the games we're expected to win after that then become losable as well. So then, like, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? So, this is an absolute must-win for the Patriots.
Yes, it is. Okay, we'll move into I still got to do a little video segment for this, and I will get one done as soon as I can, okay? And it's called our Blazing Six. So what we usually do, Keg, is we get 6 fixtures. We've got the spreads for these games. Your job is to say whether or not the team will cover the spread or the team will take the points. It's up to you. Last week was a bit of a mess. I think it was. What was our results from last week? Let's just have a look. I think it was. Oh yeah, I got 3 correct, and Kieron and Mark, who was from the UK Steelers pod, only got 2. So far, everyone, including the guest, is on 7 points. So all to play for in this league. Let's put it that way. But I picked some really good ones here. So eyes down. So your first match, and of course we can't do it without starting off with the first ever game in Dublin, Ireland. Vikings at Steelers. Vikings are favourite by -2.5. Keg, who are you taking in this one?
Tough one. I think based off of particularly last week's football, was their defense, wasn't it? Like, their offense is okay. The Steelers have been, again, I don't really know how to judge these teams so far off of these first 3 games, because, like I said, the Steelers won last week, but they weren't great.
They were shit.
They could have lost to a team that turned the ball over 5 times. Like, they should have pumped you rotten, but they didn't. Like, I know Aaron Rodgers is getting lots of praise. I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers. Last week for the Vikings had the Amani Rodgers got 2 touchdowns in like consecutive plays, pretty much, and that pretty much won them the game. So I don't know. I'll take the Vikings. I don't know about the score sheet, but yeah, I'll take Vikings.
Vikings are 2.5 favorite.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Take the point. Okay, yeah. So Vikings cover. Then Vikings. I'll cover. Vikings. I'll cover. No, Vikings and points rather. Okay, Kieron.
Yeah, I mean, this Vikings defense is really, really good. Like Brian Flores, obviously our ex-DC, done a fantastic job with that Minnesota defense. They absolutely destroyed the Bengals last week on that side of the ball, and then put up a lot of points on Cincinnati as well. I think if the Steelers play like they did against us, they're going to get massacred. I think -2.5 is a very, very kind spread on Pittsburgh, to be honest. So I will take Minnesota to cover because I think this defense could put Aaron Rodgers in a care home if he's not careful. Because, this is really one of the top 5 defenses in the league all day long.
So you got Vikings and points, yeah?
Yeah, Vikings cover the spread, yeah.
Okay, so that's us level pegging then. Okay, next game. Eagles versus the Bucks. The Eagles are -3.5 point favorites. Now, I've heard a lot of people whinge and complain of how spawny the Eagles have been over the first 3 games. The Chiefs were doing this last season, so that's not an excuse. It's just good teams, elite teams know how to find ways to win. And 2 block field goals? 2 block field goals? Come on, there's something fucking fishy going on there. Anyway, Eagles are -3.5 point favorite. Kez, we'll start with you.
Yeah, good game. This one of the better. This is a good slate of games this week. This is a really good one. As much as the Bucks patched offensive line worries me against that Eagles front, their record against Tampa Bay is pretty damn good. Not against Philadelphia, sorry, is pretty damn good. They seem to be the Eagles' bogey team, and it's in Tampa. If I'm correct, is it right? Is it in Tampa, Karl?
Let me just double check now.
I'm pretty sure the Bucks are at home.
Yes, it is in Bucks. Yeah, so it's at the Bucks.
And they don't have Mike Evans, but they always turn up against Philly. And -3.5 Eagles seems a bit much for me. I'm taking Bucks to cover 100%.
Are the Eagles winning though?
No, Bucks are going to win the game.
Bucks going to win the game.
Yeah.
So you're going to take points straight up. Bucks straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I mean, yeah, they'll cover the spread at least. But I think they'll win. So.
Okay. Keg.
Yeah, on that, I'll just go opposite just to make it a bit more interesting. I'll go Eagles. Yeah, like they say, they are quite spawny. They do get all the luck. So yeah, I don't know if they'll cover the spread or not, but I'll take them to win.
Do you know what I like about this, by the way? We all know about the, was it the 450-pound defensive lineman from Florida, Desmond Watson, who was on the Bucs practice squad, and they wouldn't let him practice because of the weight. They've just re-signed him this week, and he might be active because he might be the one man that can stop the tush push on his own.
Pretty smart.
I will not be surprised to see him elevated.
I wonder if that's the only valid reason that
would be hilarious.
The only valid reason we're bringing you back here because we need to stop someone from the tush push.
But if he did, he'd be an NFL hero. If that's the one game he ever plays, like he would go down in folklore.
You are a legend because you stopped the tush push. So you got Eagles. So you got Eagles taking the points, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eagles straight up, right? Okay. So Kieran's taking the Bucks straight up to win. I don't know. There is one thing there is one iron to wrinkle out with the Bucks. You said they got patched up O-line. Tristan Wirfs could be back this week.
That'd be a big bonus.
If he is back, Baker is going to scorch that Eagles secondary. And okay, they haven't got Evans, but Ibuka has done really well, and probably Chris Godwin.
Ibuka looks fantastic,
and Chris Godwin is returning as well. So I'm going to choose the Bucks to win. but I don't think they cover. I think it's going to be one of those tight 1-2 point games. So I'm going to say, yeah. I'm gonna go Bucks to cover. Bucks to cover. It's gonna be lower than 3.5 points. I'm sure that right now. Okay, the next game. What Commanders at Atlanta. There's a possibility Jane Daniels might be back for this one. Go on, Kate. -1. Washington are favored by.
-1. I've got to. What was the Commander score last week?
30-0. Oh, sorry, and they beat the Raiders, didn't they?
I can't remember the score off the top of my head.
34, 30 or something or other. Hang on a minute.
With Mariota, was it Mariota?
Yeah.
He's still there, yeah. I'll still take the Commanders. Yeah, I'll get the Commanders to cover. I can't back the Falcons in any capacity after what we
they beat the Raiders 41-24. Sorry, just to let you know.
Still put 41 points up. Wow.
Yeah. So you put in the commies, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Commanders, yeah. Okay, I'll take the points. Right, Kieron?
Yeah, this game is an interesting one, but I think I'm going to go Atlanta because I feel like are Atlanta at home in this game, Karl?
Yes.
I feel like there's going to be some kind of response, but if Jaden Daniels isn't back, and I've seen that Terry McLaurin and Krosky Merritt didn't practice today either, I just feel like Washington are going to be very short-handed on the road. It's a much different story going to play on the road in Atlanta than it is playing the Raiders at home. And I know we didn't beat the Raiders at home, which bloody well should have. Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta.
You're taking Atlanta with the points, yeah?
Yeah, I think Atlanta.
Well, it's only -1. This is really difficult for me now because I need Washington's defense is not all that great. The Falcons is, but I'm actually going to agree with you, Kieran. I'm going to take Atlanta. It'll be close, but I think they'll take it in the end. Okay. This game I didn't have on my docket as going to be a game which we could potentially see a Super Bowl, but we might. Strange things happen in the NFL. Indianapolis Colts at the LA Rams. Rams are favored by -3.5. Is this the week where the Colts finally fall off that proverbial branch?
It was good.
Who's first, Karl?
We'll go to Kieran this time.
All right, okay. Of course, it's a tough one to call. I do think the Colts' wheels will come off at some point, but they're playing exactly as they should be in terms of like they're trying to just avoid Daniel Jones from having to put the team on his back. Like they're just running Jonathan Taylor and playing good defense. But the Rams were very close to knocking off Philly on the road last week. I feel like I'm going to have to take the Rams.
Are they covering this? Are the Colts covering the spread though?
What's the spread? 3.5?
-3.5, yeah.
3.5. Yes. They'll cover the spread, but the Rams will still win.
Colts cover. Okay.
Yeah.
Colts cover. Okay. Keg?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Colts as well, but the Colts could actually even win this, to be fair.
So what are you saying? Rams win, Colts cover?
I don't know now. No, I'll stick with the Colts. Colts to cover.
You go to Colts to win. Wow. Okay. Wow, Colts boys. That's interesting. This Rams team is not going to be very happy after last week. I think this is the beginning of not beginning of the end for Indianapolis, but I think this is where it all stops. So I am going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams and the points. So we are all different on that one. Fifth game, Baltimore at KC. KC are favored by -2.5. How much more trust do we have in this Rams defense? Because I've got no faith in this in this Ravens defense. It is shambolic. Okay, you're up.
Oh, I've got absolutely no idea on this one. This is a tough one. Do you want to go, Kieron?
I can go if you want, because I know exactly where I'm going on this one, and Karl knows exactly where I'm going on this one.
You go KC points, aren't you?
Yeah, because I make a point, Keg, quite a lot on here, that Lamar Jackson is the biggest choke in the NFL. Like, every time he has to put the team on his back or he comes up in a big game, they get beat. So this season, they've already lost to Buffalo and Detroit, and they're now on the road at Kansas City. If I can just see the Chiefs win. It's a big game. They're at home. Give me Kansas City to cover the spread at home. They're winning this. And Baltimore are going 1-3. And Lamar goes 0-3 in all 3 big games, and his only win is against Cleveland.
Who have Cleveland? Hang on, who have Cleveland got? Oh, they've got they're getting slapped by the Lions. Keg, who you got on this one? I've got KC. I'm same as you, Keg. I've got KC taking a point. There's too many times I've been burned by Baltimore now. I think 2 of the last 3 games I've chosen Baltimore and I've been burnt by them. We have got a fella Panther in the chat. T Green there, keep pounding. Big up T Green. Hope you're good.
Just to make it interesting, I'm going to go Baltimore. I don't think the Chiefs have really started this well this season. I think they've been a little bit underwhelming in some phases. The Ravens, it's obviously been a hard start. If they do lose this, then I get it. But if you want to win a Super Bowl, you're gonna have to beat these teams. Like, you can't look back on it and be like, oh well, there were good teams that got beat off. Yeah, but you'll eventually end up playing one of them in the conference game or in the Super Bowl. You're gonna have to start, Lamar Jackson's gonna have to stop choking. He's gonna have to prove that he's better than Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. But so yeah, I'll just go Baltimore just to make it interesting.
Okay, and
it's a typical game that the Chiefs. This is what makes them such a good team, and they've not been under. They've not been as good as they have been, and it's the same case with the Eagles. Like, they're 3-0, but they've not looked fantastic. But they know how to find ways to win games like this, and that's where Baltimore fall short every time. Is that they just seem to get themselves into holes in the big games, and they don't seem to find their way out of it. So, like, the Chiefs' experience in games like this, I think, will come through.
Okay, and our last game is, well, I think this needs to be put out. It is, of course, the month. Prepare for the first ever Tank Bowl. Because this is a game which should not be on Monday Night Football. It should be flexed into the middle of next fucking week. It's the butt fumble versus the Dolphins. Dolphins are -3.5, -3 favorites. Who are we sticking the landmine on in this game? Okay.
It was it again. It was the Dolphins and who?
Jets and Dolphins.
Fucking hell. Flip a coin. Fields might be back, is he? I don't think he's been back in practice this week.
I don't know. Let me just.
Not that it'll probably make that much of a difference, but just trying to think. So Dolphins are favourite, yeah.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah. -3.
Oh, I'll go with Jets.
You're going with the Jets?
Yeah, why not?
Is that Jets to the points or Jets just to cover?
I don't know. Yeah, points. Go points.
Oh, he's going for the full game. Okay, fair enough. Kieron?
why have they done this? Why have they subjected this
I
game?
made 5 good games. I put 5 good games in, so just for balance, I've had to throw in.
No, it's not your fault, Carl.
The
NFL will put this on prime time. Like, it's disgusting. Like, these two, as we said before, the tins of tuna versus the paper aeroplanes. Like, this is one of the worst games in NFL history. Like this of this season. This is a bad game. I feel like Miami could be a tough place if things aren't going well. Like, it has its bad parts. That's just New York, but I feel like if the Dolphins lose at home to the Jets to go 0-4, Mike McDaniel might get shot. So, I feel
extreme.
I'm gonna have to take the Dolphins because at least they can score points. Like, their offense should still be able to put points on the board. Like, and the Jets, on this podcast, it's impossible to pick the Jets because we hate them so much, and they just are the shit on the bottom of your shoe, really. So, I'm taking Dolphins. But that was a bit extreme. I went a little bit out there.
That was very extreme, Kieron. What's going on? Anyway, I don't care if I don't get anything on this one. I'm taking a tie.
Taking a tie?
I'm taking a tie. Neither team deserves success. So guess what? No, you have a tie in that one.
I feel like if it was a tie, like a similar game. Do you remember that Cardinals Seahawks game that was like 6-3 like 5 years ago? I feel like this game could be like that, and everyone will just be like, why is this even the thing? Like, why have these two teams been subjected to the world? Like,
anyway, we've got our predictions. We'll see what happens. Keg, thank you so much for coming on. Much appreciated. Everyone hit the link to his Twitter account is down in the description below. The YouTube channel, which he is contributor of, called the Magpie channel, all to do with Newcastle United, in the title in the description as well. So make sure you go give them a follow, give them a subscribe there as well. What have we got coming up, Keg?
Just more of these, to be fair, podcasts, previews with other collaborators from both sides of the pond. We've got a lot of connections over in Carolina and in the UK as well, with the Fletch from the Asleep at Work network. And I know Fletch well. Nothing actually booked in right now, but I know that I've been in contacts with quite a few people over some stuff, and I'm also looking into booking up to go over to Carolina again later on this year. I'm looking at the Rams game in week 13. So I've got all my tabs are open. I'm just ready to check out. I'm looking forward to getting back over to Charlotte at some point later on this year.
Fair enough. Thank you for coming on, mate. Much appreciated. Kieron, as always my right-hand man, so well done, mate.
No worries at all.
We're getting on out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you smash the like button on the way out. You Gronk spike the subscribe button. Tell all your friends. Follow us on social media platforms. Follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple as well. Make sure you follow Keg on X as well. Always into the Carolina Panthers and so on. We will be back on Tuesday night for the review of the Panthers game. And please, God, I do not want to have another fucking 5-minute soliloquy meltdown. We need to go 2-2. Let's go 2-2. Come on, the Patriots. Let's go. Good night.